to technical issues. The recording was not saved. So I'm just going to browse through this, trying to give you an idea what it was that we discussed on Thursday. So we're doing the first module, which is the organization is a system, and we're doing unit 1 of this module. So we have just one learning outcome, which is design a workforce plan based on the organizational strategy, illustrating the roles and responsibilities of key functional areas. That is your job analysis, recruitment, selection, training, and development, performance management, compensation, and rewards, and how people or how employees exit the system or exit the employees. So for us to be able to do this, we must understand that human resources management does not exist in a vacuum. It takes its tone or tune from the rest of the organization. So it just doesn't make its own rules and has its own goals and does as it pleases. It does as it pleases as long as that is within the limits of the organization. So the first unit just simply takes us through that HRM, which is Human Resources Management, is basically a subsystem of an organization. So if we're talking a subsystem, we are talking in a system which will exist um, um, under an existing system already. And if maybe we have an example of an organization, we'll find an organization will have maybe the CEO, and under the CEO who will give the direction and make sure the vision of the organization is actually achieved. You'll find marketing. Marketing will take a piece of what the entire organization is to achieve, and marketing would be a subsystem of an organization. We'd have production. Production would serve as a subsystem of an organization because they would want to ensure that the subsystem actually, and that we're talking about, actually does the production part of it, but taking tune from the main or the CEO, taking tune from the vision, the mission, the values, and the goals and objectives of the organization. So organizations have various subsystems, which is basically what I've just referred to by talking about the HRM and the marketing, by talking about production. I'm actually simply saying that organizations will have various subsystems working towards one goal. So these subsystems, I spoke of departments only, may have divisions, may have different teams, and may have different programs and projects. So all of this is basically taking off a chunk from the main organization, where each will deal with a small part of the organization. So each will derive their goals and objectives from what the organization as a whole would want to achieve. So the organization will come up with a strategy. If I make an example, something like being the number one provider for product, or being or gaining certain percentage of a market. So a certain percentage of the share of the market. So all the other subsystems, whatever they decide to do as part of their daily activities and their weekly activities, are actually speaking towards the goals and objectives from the strategy of the organization. And once this is done, then resources are allocated to these subsystems. Resources could be people, could be money, could be information, so different resources. But in this case, we are talking about people. We are talking about the resources that are people. So employees are then allocated to the subsystems together with budgets and tools to enable them to attain these goals and objectives of these various systems that we just spoke about. Just to illustrate what I've just mentioned in the previous slide, organization will have its strategic objectives, and the different subsystems will have their own objectives, but our interest is human resources objectives. So for example, an organization would have a strategic objective of opening a new retail within the next 3 years. Obviously, opening a new retail outlet would have many different aspects. It would have to have money, it would have to have information, it would have to have different plans in place and different technical skills that are required. So from this, each system would come up with their own objectives, and HR objectives, which would speak to this, would be one, to plan for the new workforce for the retail outlet. Who is coming through there? Who is required to work there? Also, in order to do this, to answer the question which says who should be there and who should not be there, you would need to conduct a job analysis. And a job analysis is basically a process where you collect data for a job, and collect data for a job in terms of research, in terms of different tools and systems that are in place, where you're trying to define what tasks are required and what skills will be required. Because if you are to have to recruit qualified people, where you create an advert, you need to understand from the job analysis what are the duties of the job, what are the specifications that are required for these jobs to be actually completed. So this is what I mean when I say each system will find its tune from the objectives of the organization. But to explain further, the process of workforce planning is basically looking at the future, looking at the future where you are trying to find the right people in the right place with the right skills at the right time at the right cost. So this is one of the processes which human resources needs to talk to. So if we go back to that example, which I've just made here about opening a new retail outlet. A new retail outlet would need finance people. It would need, I'd say, tellers. It would need buyers. It would need packers. It would need cleaning people. So this is where you ask yourself, who are the right people? Where are they required? What do they need to have? When do you need these people? And at how much are you willing to spend for that? So that's why we're talking about this. So basically, workforce planning, this is one of the definitions. There are plenty more, which I've chosen not to use, is defined as determining and shaping the capacity and capability of the workforce that is needed to reach an organization. This refers to you finding the right people, and also training the right people, and also ensuring that there's capability of the workforce needed to reach the goal and the direction of the organization. Because if you are to meet these needs, then you certainly need to ensure that you have all these resources that you need. So part of workforce planning stages and steps is you first determine what do you have currently? Who do you have? And what skills do they possess? How can they help the organization? Um, and what are the requirements for HR? Meaning, who do you need? Who do you need here? That will assist you obviously to meet the goals of and directions of the workforce. If for some reason your new retail outlet would have different technologies, then this would mean that you would need to have people who are clued up with technology. This means that you would need to have people who are skilled in future jobs. So this is the first step that you do. Then you then decide the number and the quality of people whom you would need to achieve these goals. Um, different people would need to be decided on, and then you would then need to act to ensure that the workforce is equipped for the future. Train them, come up with methods to make sure that they have what is required. If your organization is changing systems, make sure they have the systems in place. If your organization has new customers, make sure that they have such. So that's what basically I'm talking about when we are talking about the organization of the system and also the movement towards workforce planning. Obviously, you can ask questions because you're not here. This will be uploaded on YouTube, and I will share the link on ICANN. Thank you very much for being part of the class. I hope this was very fruitful for you. Thank you so much.